Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. This here's Portie's Garage, home of DIY, mostly geared to automotive, but here at Mix, you never know what you're gonna get. I'm out in the back porch, so you know what that means? Some kind of radio. Today we've got something a little different. We had Radioddity come through again. I want to thank Radioddity. They sent this MLite-880, which is a shortwave radio. Battery operated, you can plug it in with a USB-C, and it is from Light Melody SP, as you can see on the box here. So this is going to be interesting. It is a powerful little radio. A lot of what goes on inside here is way above my pay grade. So I'll be going through the manual, try to explain some of it, but I can show you how to walk through and what some of it does. And it does have a spectrum analyzer that goes across the screen. So that is what makes part of this very interesting. So let me get things turned around here and let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Here is the MLite-880 Light Melody SP. I think that's how you say that if you look at the name. Interesting little radio, full spectrum. On-off switch here, we'll turn that on. It can record. It's got a scan disc here, so you can record conversations, or not conversations, but what you're hearing come through. It's got a bunch of different buttons on the side. We'll go through those. Some indicator lights here. It's got an antenna, which, grab the wrong part. So it comes with this, and this is the SMA size connector right here. So I just got an adapter so I can hook it up. I had a dipole for 10 meters a while back. So I'm just going to hook it up there. So that goes right there. We've also got headphones. We've got your USB-C charging. It says 5 amps. This does also have Bluetooth that you can connect to different headsets. It's got the built-in antenna. So I will show you how to switch and make sure you're switched from the built-in antenna to the 50 ohm. So what am I going to do? So I showed you just the outside of the radio. Oh, and the battery back here. I pressed the button on the front. I'm doing it again. Wonder what I'm doing. Doesn't look like anything right there. So I'll go through some of the features. I'll walk through the menus. Again, a lot of what's actually happening here is above my pay grade, how it does the spectrum analyzer and noise reduction and gains. And I mean, it's got the steps and, you know, the single sideband, all of that. Then we'll skip through and tune in some bands, and we'll test a couple frequencies here. So I did bring the UV5R Mini, also from Radioddity, and I've got it, you can see here, I've got a simplex. I will test that and show where that comes up on here. We'll do that later on. So one of the first things I want to do is change the brightness so it stays on. You can see it turned off here. You can actually see it pretty well on the screen, but I think that's a menu 5. So see underneath it says visual right there. Maybe I'll use the pen. It says visual right here. So let's hit 5. Here's some of the menus. 2 is the brightness timer. And I think you turn the knob. It says it goes to 300. There we go, 300. And then I'm going to hit return, which is right here. Let's see if that stays on. That will chew up the battery a little more. You can see on the screen, you got, right now we're on the upper sideband. Noise reduction's on. Volume or speaker, it's on the speaker. Sorry, that's the speaker there. And the time and date, I have not set that. As we walk through the booklet, I'll show you, we will set that to a proper time and date. And then you've got other, you can switch between headphones and speakers, your squelch, noise reduction, like I said, return. So I did set that brightness, and you can see it staying on a lot longer here. So maybe let's open up the booklet see what we got here. You can see the manual. You can see all the different components, which I pretty much talked about outside already. You've got your battery right over here. It just gives you a picture of different things on here. Here are a lot of the display functions, which I had some of them up. You can see squelch, noise reduction, upper sideband, lower sideband, CW. And we're going to try to see if we can pick any of these up. I'm going to connect it to a different antenna. AM mode, scan, narrow, FM. We got volume, we got RDS, time, battery. You know, some of these other ones, I'm not exactly sure what goes on. But as you can see, we stepped through that menu. It was pretty easy to use. So again, like I talked about here, that button A, which is this button right here, that's the audio output selection. And you can see it's between the headphones and speaker. So it's pretty straightforward. B, squelch, CD. One is your frequency step menu, which we'll go through in a minute. And I'm going to show you how to tune in using this. If I can find a couple signals coming in today, we'll be able to tune in on that. I'll show you how to tune in on that. It's very helpful getting the quality of the sound quite optimal there. B is modulation mode. That's upper sideband, lower sideband, stuff like that. Device menus. We'll be using 4 to manually enter frequencies. That's the airband coming in, and I am going to tune to that here. Actually, maybe I'll do it while I'm sitting. It's 126/300, and I should be on this antenna, which I can turn a little bit. And let's do a quickly, if that's going to come in a little bit. Menu 126. The point is there, point 300. I'm going to go B for megahertz. It's saying it's on AM. I'm going to go to FM mode. Let's do 7. And then I'm going to show you how to quickly change volume. You press that button, you can turn volume down. And go back, and now this you can tune. So you can tune with that button then. All right, so let's start showing some of these features on here. So the step, so that here, you hit step. Let me use my pen again. Step right there. If I press that button, you can see right now every time I turn this knob, it's jumping 500 hertz. So to scan through quickly, maybe you want to do 5, and every time I turn this, see it's 6.25. And then as you get close to something, you might want to hit your step, go hit 1 for 100, and now you can see it's just the 100 hertz right there. So that's pretty interesting. The selection mode, I think I already showed you that. The mode, let's go to lower sideband. So, and this will offset where signals come in. So if the air traffic comes in, it may be off to the side a little bit till you're on that right mode. What else do we have here? Oh, the antenna. That's an important one. So that is going to be keyboard device 3. So it's device menu, and antenna is 1. So right now I'm going to go 3. It actually is on 50 ohm, which I don't want that on. I want it on the antenna that's here. So I just switched that. So now I'm using this antenna. When I do connect here, I will want to go back and change that to the 50 ohm. And then you can hit the B on the bottom, return. That brings you here. So you can see there's other different things on here. There's 1 of 3 menus. You can see frequency correction if they're off, tuning modes, AM. I think right now the AM, if I do go to AM and I turn this knob, it's going to scan, which sometimes a little difficult when you want to come close to something. You see it over here, you turn it, and it just scans past it. But you can disable that. There's equalizers and a couple other things. So I just showed you already how to enter the frequency. You can see here, you manually type the frequency. So you hit 4, you manually type it in. You can see the star right here is the dot. A for kilohertz, B for megahertz, make a mistake, C is clear, D is exit, and the pound enters. So that's pretty simple. Visual, this is the one we did right in the beginning. I changed the brightness timer to 300 seconds so it'll stay on. So then here you start getting into spectrum fill, spectrum average. I'm not going to change any of those. You also have the S meter, spectrum gain. I'm going to play with those later, see exactly what they do, but I don't want to mess things up and not be able to get back to factory defaults for the video here. You got a bunch of audio settings also, and which number is that? That is button 6, and it is listed audio right there. So you can change different audio settings. You can see those listed here. Here's page 2 of 3 for different gains, and then also 3 of 3, and you can see what other things are there. So if you've got a station you like listening to all the time, whether it's radio, whether it's 10 meter, you're listening to people across the world, you can record different messages and signals and recordings. So you can see here's how to, here's how to go through and start doing the recordings. And then it also tells you how to listen to them. So pretty interesting little radio. So it does a lot with that noise gain. So the other thing that I like too, it lists all the different frequencies that you can go into. You can see there's it goes all the way from 150 hertz all the way to 2 meter. Look at that, 148 megahertz. Doesn't go up into 70 centimeter though. And it also has the FM band, so that's the radios and stuff, and the air band is which I've got 126.3. And unfortunately, no one's coming in right now. No planes flying around off the Flint airport. All right. So now that I walked through that booklet, anything else? Outside antenna. I got the battery, USB-C charger. Walk through the book. Let's now just scan a couple here. Let's go to 40 meters. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to connect this. I'm going to hook up the dipole that's it's actually set up for 10 meters, about 16 feet, I think, long. But we're going to try to scan through a couple other things here. So give me a minute. All right, so before I do the video here, you can see I've got the connected there. Just goes on the ground, up to here. I hear a plane. That must be going to the Oakland airport. But you can just see I got a quick little dipole. We're going to sit up here. We're going to scan a couple, see if we can find some things. So let me get the set back. All right, so I already did this, but the first thing you want to do when you connect your antenna here, change your antenna. I'm on the 50 ohm now. So let's return back. So I should be on here. Let's try 40 meters. So I'm going to try to tune it to 7,000 kilohertz. Let's see what happens. 7, 1. Let's hit A. There we go. And then I'm going to, right now I'm in lower sideband. Don't know if I want to leave that. I'm going to jump larger. I'm going to go 8. So you can see the jump. And let's just watch, see if anything's coming across this analyzer here. So not a lot going on here. All right, let's try 10 meter. I'm gonna do 28.00. I'm a little below. Let's do that. B megahertz. I see something right here already. Probably just a tone. But see that right here? So I might. So you can see how that's constantly high. That's what's telling me there's a tone. You'll see when there's people talking, it's modulating. I haven't checked any of the propagation maps today, so I don't know how they're going. It is around noon, so this might be someone talking here. Maybe not. Here we go.
Contest, November 5, X-ray Zulu, 10-10 contest. This is Al. 10-10 number 4530, 4530, good though.
So there you got, I thought he said Texas.
10-10 number again. Hey Ken, what is your 10-10 number again, over? Okay, 10,462, good up. Very good, thanks a lot, Ken, I appreciate it. 73 to you.
All right.
Contest, November 5, X-ray Zulu, 10-10 contest.
So there's a contest looks like going on here. Let's see if we can find anybody else in it. All right, let's tune into, let's show you the FM here. So let's do, what did I want? 147.550 megahertz. Whoops. 0 FM. All right. So you can see I've got this. Let's go down to B. All right. So I'm on here, and I'm going to see if we can see it pick up on here. KE8UWY, looking for a signal test. Wow. So that was outside. KE8UWY, looking for a signal report. There, once I tuned in, that worked great. So that was that. So you can see I got narrow FMs no, so this might be off just a hair. Where's the return? Because this I'm sending 147.55. This is 147.5.43. And I'm right in the center of that now. So that is different. All right, let's do... we'll scan for a couple radio stations here. So let's go 88 megahertz. Here we go. Here's a radio station. See how much higher that is? So these are FM bands around here. So you can see there's a lot of stations coming in here. All right, let's not be on one of those. You get the idea of that. So I'm going to throw in, and I might actually sit and play with this, see if I can find some other stations and then record those for you, what's going on here. All right, who knows what this is? So I've got this hertz here. Sounds like a church service there. Yeah, that's different. Look at word 9.9 megahertz there. Different. So
legitimidad a través de un proceso
So
que
I've
no quieren
got,
ni siquiera
sounds like
pasar por el
Spanish.
rato que se hacen las elecciones. Entonces, esto yo lo veo después del choque inicial de las palabras, como efectivamente fueron, que es una oportunidad política que está aprovechando, para desenmascarar una máscara más que cae de Daniel
So you can
Ortega,
see I got this
y
on
tratar
narrow
de encauzar
FM. If I go, I'm not picking up the full modulation. Let me get out of that.
pasado a un proceso donde la comunidad internacional y Estados Unidos en particular están pensando en acciones.
So it's just different ways to play with to try to get the signal clear. So here's another one. Comes in the narrow. That's pretty clear. Let's go. So we shift a little. That comes in pretty good too.
En alguna de la representación de Estados Unidos a la OEA.
So that's 1,000 skip. If I do 10,
Nicaragua por estas acciones atentan contra la seguridad de los Estados
I could probably
americanos.
tune it in better. That's pretty clear though. Let me keep scanning. Yeah, more Mexican coming in here. See, I'm in the lower sideband coming in pretty good. 13.7 megahertz there. All right. I might have just had Morse code over here. And it's gone now. Let's see if any comes back while I tune over. Well, there was somebody there. There we go. Here we go. So you can see Morse code. Let's go to CW here. Oh, he's gone again. Oh, maybe. Nice and tight. Should be right there. And I'm not picking anything up. Oh, here we go. I just wasn't tuned in right. So there's a little Morse code. Look how narrow that band is there. Compared to, I wonder what that signal is over there. So there's Morse code. So he must be talking to somebody. I can't pick up the other side, but you'd think you'd be able to. There's the clock, 20 megahertz out of Fort Collins, Colorado. And a guy will come on every 30 seconds or so and say what the time is in Universal Standard Time. It's kind of interesting. Just scrolled past that, had to look it up on the internet. All right, listen. So that's Fort Collins, and I'm over here in Michigan. So Colorado and Michigan picking up with this thing. All right, there's a review of the MLite-880, the MLite-880 SP. So pretty interesting little radio. When you connect it to another antenna, you could see I was getting a lot of Mexican stations. I don't know where they were from. They could be local Michigan. Maybe they were down in Mexico. You can see I got Fort Collins, Colorado. That clicker got CW. pretty interesting with the spectrumanalyzer how you can tell just by the way the signal is. If it's wide, it's probably voice. If it's modulating up and down, it's real narrow. I got Morse code going here. Real narrow, bouncing up and down. You can tell that that's Morse code on there. Or they just have spikes that are pretty standard. It's some kind of tone. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot that this can do that I will play with more. Hopefully learn a little more. I think it's pretty powerful. Just connect an antenna and you're listening to, everything from 150 kilohertz all the way up to 2 meters. Was it 148 megahertz? So if you like playing with these kind of radios, I would definitely recommend picking one up. The tuning's pretty good. I will be playing with some of the graphics and how much is the wavelength shown, not wavelength, the frequencies are shown in the screen. So pretty interesting. And again, thanks for watching Portie's Garage. If you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe.